All right, I think we are double recording now, Brittany. So welcome to everybody who just joined this content launchpad party. We're waiting for a few more people to join, and I'm going to start screen sharing here to get us started, just to make sure that everyone can see our screen there. Everyone can give me a quick thumbs up that they see something called the content launchpad. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Michelle, Angela, Brenda. Awesome. While we're waiting for people to join, we always love to know who we've got here in the room with us today. So if you guys want to share in the chat, who you are, what your business is, if you have a social media handle, just kind of helps us know what's going on there in the chat. Brittany, I'm hearing some crazy feedback there. Okay, it's all all fixed now. So yeah, let's get the chat going here and let us know what your business is, and feel free to share where you're on social media as well. Okay, we're getting more people coming on in here in the chat. We're admitting people as fast as humanly possible.
I'm still clicking mute. Probably once more before we actually get rolling, I'll do the mute all again, Jen, just in case.
Perfect. All right, we've got Adrian here who works on neurodiversity. Great to see you again, Adrian here. Andre, who's a realtor. Linda, love to see you here. Ian, nice to see you from Port Moody Acupuncture. Mel, so love to see you from Toronto. We've got Melissa here from Southern Ontario, a flower farmer. Oh, that sounds so beautiful. We've got Esther here from brownbaysresort.com. Worked with you before. I'm going to have to read a lot faster than this. Okay, we got a photographer. We've got someone here from Saskatchewan. We've got another mortgage broker. Monashee Trail Society. Great to see you again, Suzanne. Oh, Michelle's building virtual summits. I love it. People from Kamloops. I wonder who's the farthest person away. Is anybody here from Australia or the other half of the world? I would just wonder, we should have a prize for who came from the farthest place to join us online here today. If that is you, drop it in the chat. I think the farthest we have so far right now. Okay, London. Julie, is that London, England, maybe? Because that would be quite far. Langley, too close.
We got a Mexico.
Mexico. Okay, I love that. London, England. Okay, Pinar, then you might be the winner there. Pemberton. Okay, Julia said, okay, couple from London, England then as well. Okay, that's good time zones. End of the day there for you, I think, if you're over in Europe time zones. So that's super exciting there. We've got Orlando, Illinois, the Netherlands, Victoria. Oh, I love that. From the Netherlands as well. So also later in the day from you. We've got Linnea here from the North Okanagan Cycling Society, NYC in the house. I love that, Mo. We've got lots of people from the Vancouver area coming on in here as well. So yeah, if you're new here, keep dropping your handles there. Linda, thank you for sharing that with you. Your handles there in the chat. Okay, I realize with this many people on, it's gonna take a while to get everybody in. It does take a little bit to get everybody actually on the call. Subunit Ecom, distribution connections within Europe and Americas. That sounds very formal. Thank you for sharing that with us. And Brittany, thank you for sharing our handles. I feel like we never actually say where we're from. And we're going to share the workbook links in just a second. I know everybody is super keen. So Linda, great question. We're going to be on for a full hour today till 11, and then we will stay on as long as necessary after for some more Q&A, because we don't often get through every single question on the call today. So we'll try and stay on another 10 or 15 minutes for everybody who needs it. I see that Jenna, do you want to wave for anybody, Jenna? Jenna is going to be our amazing support person today, who is dropping all those links in the chat. So Jenna will continue to drop the workshop link and then any of the other links that we need to kind of get this going on here today as well. If you've just joined, continue dropping your handles. It's just great for us to know where everybody is coming from. But otherwise, Brittany, I know we're at 10:05. Should we get started?
Get started. And I know we were going to wait to the end to drop the links, but I think if Jenna is able to, obviously there is an offer at the end for our membership. Jenna, if you do want to drop the link in the chat with the coupon code, that way if anyone is leaving early, I don't want you to miss it. It's there. And then we might have to put the workbook a couple more times if it gets buried in the chat. Okay, I think we're good to go. Jen, whenever you're ready.
Okay, let's do it. Well, hopefully you guys are here in the right place and you guys are looking to save time and make a content plan today. And hopefully some of those ideas are resonating with you. As always, it is going to be a pretty action-packed 1 hour long. So even though we're talking about social media today, if you can put your phone on DND for the call, that would be absolutely fantastic. And then stick around, as Brittany just alluded to today, we are going to have a special offer at the end, and one person is actually going to walk away with a $970 prize pack. But you do have to be here at the end to win. Jenna is actually compiling all the names from everybody who is joining right now. And then we're going to do a really fun picker wheel at the end. So definitely make sure you stick around for that. All right, Brittany, want to talk about our vision board idea here?
Yes, this is fun because Jen and I actually did like a legit, oh, I put it on the wall, I can't take it down, but like an actual vision board on poster, like we were in high school, it was super fun. So we were kind of weaving this into the workshop. So if you have in the chat, you can share, do you have any of these on your 2024 vision board? You might have one or two of them, maybe all of them. Make more money, that's a pretty obvious one for most of us as business owners. Less screen time. Okay, kind of interesting. We're teaching about content, but less screen time is probably something that we're all after. More family time and more clarity. I'm assuming you have 1, 2, 3, or maybe 4 of those. Drop in the chat if you do. Def more money. Someone said yes. So if any of those are on your vision board, then let's just be real with each other. It's time for a better plan and one that does all of those things for you. Jenna, if you can keep letting people in, I think you are amazing. And that's Jen and I. See, those are our actual vision boards. See, we're friends in real life. We're not like fake bots here on Zoom. Okay, let's keep going here. We want to weave in some actual like results that people are getting as they're using these strategies as well, rather than saving them all for the end, really boring testimonials. So we have 3 that we want to share with you. So this is Kaylee. If Kaylee is here, you can say here in the chat, she might be. This is Kaylee, and since joining us, she's been featured in multiple publications showing off her beautiful mobility products for the modern home, which is cool. Kaylee makes these really neat. They're all handmade shower stools, and then her side table. I can't remember what the side table is called, but she uses, oh, she's there. Oh, hi, Kaylee. So this Kaylee, this is a real win. She also used our hashtag strategy and was able to double her reach using that. And then we have, I think Anna's up on our next slide. Anna, if you are here, you can give us a wave too. And for Anna, since joining us, she actually had an awesome email list, but she hadn't used it for a while. So she revived her stale list. Her first email she sent had a 48% open rate, which is crazy. Anyone who does email marketing knows that's not an easy number to reach unless you have a very small list. And that first weekend, the store saw a 20% lift in sales as a result of that. So this is pretty awesome. And then our third one we wanted to feature is, drum roll, Michelle might be here too. This is Michelle. Maybe Jen, you speak with Michelle off. Maybe you can share her win.
Yeah, I worked with Michelle one-on-one as a client in my group coaching program, and then she joined the membership. And Michelle is someone who's like very anti-social media, and she would be totally fine with me saying that. She had just opened an Instagram account because she wasn't really sure if she wanted to do it. And Michelle's someone who's very intentional with her time on social media. She hates scrolling. She honestly doesn't like being online at all, but she does understand the connections that can be made through using social media strategically. And you can see here too that she said, I've heard so many people complaining about Instagram, how it's not serving them, but that has not been my experience. She's making extraordinary connections, learning new things, and being entertained as well. And she's going out and seeking those opportunities using some of the strategies that we put together. And here's Michelle live. That was 5 weeks ago, actually. So she's got more than that now. And 500 followers when you're starting from absolutely zero a few months ago is a huge win, and not something to be undermined, especially when you're already getting results from it. So Michelle, I love working with because she's just very realistic about the time and effort that she puts into her social media accounts.
Awesome. And we wanted to put those right at the beginning because I think it's important. Most of these webinars you'll get on and it's like, this is where I'm supposed to say, we're going to teach you how to make $1 million tomorrow using this strategy. But like, we're not here to tell you that. So we want to show you real wins, what people accomplish using these strategies, and no fluff today. In fact, our tagline is actually anti-guru, no fluff. Anyone who knows us knows that's true. So this is you on the slide, Jen, so we'll kick it back over to you. Reason you're here today.
Awesome. Okay, so we have 3 reasons you're here, and you're also going to vote in the chat in a second. So reason number 1 that maybe you decided to join this webinar today is that maybe right now, you're posting on the fly. It's Tuesday morning. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't have a post today. You open up your phone and then basically end up wasting time. I mean, we've all been there, doom scrolling first thing in the morning or late at night, and you're not really accomplishing anything for your business, and so you end up wasting time without a plan. Or maybe, I'll kick over to you, Brittany.
Reason number 2. Oh, we went 1 slide too far.
Oh, did we? Sorry. There we go.
There we go. It's always fun when we're co-hosting from different locations. So I'm like, what's on the next slide? And Jen has control of the slides. Reason number 2, perhaps you're not consistent in your content. You often fall behind on important dates and launches. maybe your last sale or launch had lower than expected results and you want to make more sales on the next one. That's reason number 2. And then back over to you, Jen, for reason number 3.
Or maybe I suspect a lot of you, from what you put in the chat about the vision board party, you're just not seeing leads from social media. You've been putting some time and effort into it, but you just haven't had any DMs really come through about hiring you, booking a consult, or buying your product or service. So based on those 3 reasons, let's take a second now. Reason 1, 2, 3, or maybe it's a combination of all 3. Drop a number in the chat for why you decided to join today's webinar. And I love that Caitlin kicked off all 3. Michelle said 1 and 3, all 3. Reason number 2, okay, I love the differences. May's all 3, Robin's all 3. I'm a pro and sometimes all 3, 1 and 2, 1. Linda's all 3 as well. I've got Jane 1, mostly all 3. Okay, good combination of things then. A lot of all 3s and a lot of number 3s. A lot of people coming in here today. People are still coming in. I cannot admit them fast enough. Okay, all 3 here today. If you have just joined us, we're just dropping in the chat the reason that we decided to join this workshop today, whether you came from our email list, new members, more board members. Oh, I like that, Suzanne. Very specific. I like that. And Jenna has just dropped the workbook in the chat, which we don't need just yet. So don't panic about that yet. All but number 1 for sure. Stop wasting time. Okay, keep the answers going if you haven't answered yet. But whatever your motivation is to be here today, we're going to help you rock your social media plan. And with that, now that we're at 10:12, we should probably introduce ourselves, because I know a lot of you here on the call know myself and Brittany, but let's just take 10 seconds if you are new to one of us here on the call. I'm Jen, and I'm one half of the Plan That Social Club, and I also run my own social media consulting agency. People know me for my fast talking, which you guys are getting a front row seat to here today. And I love keeping it real for my clients. I've been able to work with lots of great brands here in Vancouver and across Canada, helping them launch memberships, generating sales and results for different campaigns, and growing their businesses online with tangible results. And people hire me for strategy, coaching, and workshops like this today. And if we're not already connected on Instagram, you will find me at Social with Jen, and I'd love to connect with some of you who haven't yet. All right, over to you, Brittany.
Amazing. And I'm Brittany. I am also known sometimes for talking fast, but certainly not as fast as Jen. In fact, I think she has a Post-it note that she wrote before. It says, talk slow. Is it there? Oh, you do. That's so funny. So I'm kind of known for having more ideas than time, because I have 4 kids and it's chaos behind the scenes over here. There's never enough time in a day. Just some fun stats. I've built over 100 websites. I'm a certified Podia Pro. So Podia is what I use to build membership sites and course sites on. I've launched email marketing campaigns for 7-figure businesses, generated hundreds of new leads in 48 hours or less for locally owned businesses, all sorts of fun stats. And my focus, or what people hire me for, is website design, social media content, the actual execution side, and email marketing. And that's where you can find me on social. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to keep going for a couple slides. So how would it feel if, or what would it do for your business if you had a framework, which is what we're teaching you today, that made planning easy and easy just to check it off your list each month? It's a necessary evil, making your social media content plan. So let's do it faster. What would it feel like, or what would it do for your business if you finally understood how to market your business effectively on different channels? And what would it feel like if you were able to get more direct leads, which I know lots of us were putting number 3 in the chat, more direct leads and sales from your social media channels? That is what we want to show you. So we want you to, I know everyone's on mute and it would be hilarious if we were saying this together. This is like the mantra. If you could say it even in your head, planning social media is easy and fun. I can create content that will help me generate more sales for my business, because I can't hear you well, even if you type yes in the chat. Oh, look, some yeses. This is so fun. When I put these slides together, I'm like, is anyone going to type yes? It's so nerdy, but I love it so much. I really do believe that your planning and content creation can be fun and easy. You just need a strategy to help you do that and not feel like you're scrambling. All right, let's keep moving forward. Okay, here's where we're headed today. Okay, so this is our little roadmap. Our members are used to this roadmap. We use this for every workshop. First, why you need a content plan in the first place. We're gonna walk you through that. 3 content pillars for success in your business is section 2. 3 is where we get to the meaty part, our 4x3 framework for content planning made easy. Section 4, that's when we're going to announce our contest winner, who will win a year to the membership, and then our live Q&A. Okay, and questions. There's a lot of people on the webinar today. There's probably going to be about 200 before we're said and done. So put your questions in the chat. We will do our best to answer them here and there via chat, whoever's not talking, but we will have a live Q&A element at the end as well. Okay, amazing. All right, Jen, do you want to take this section or do you want me to take this section?
I'll do this one here. Well, actually, we'll split it up because then I do content pillars, and I know you like me to
Sounds
do that
good.
one.
Okay.
So
You
I'll
can
start with number one. Okay, so why do you need a plan at all? Because before we tell you about a plan, we'll tell you why you need a plan. The first reason is that social media rewards consistency. Now, how many of you may have thought this, and it's okay if you have, that if you're posting more times on your channel, you're going to get less engagement overall because you're worried your followers are going to get bored of your content, or often we're like, oh, I don't want to annoy people, like I shouldn't post too much. And some of you are nodding along like, yep, I have thought that before. But that is in fact a myth. The fact is that posting consistently, doesn't mean every single day, but consistently generates up to 50% more engagement per post. I have run tests on this myself. And the truth is when I post more, I get more engagement hands down, all the time. It's like kind of keeps like the Instagram ball rolling, or LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever your platform is of choice. Really what it comes down to is creating good content for your audience. So if you've been worried about posting, like I only want to post once a week or maybe twice a week, we kind of need to shake that off and realize that you've got great content that deserves to be shared with your audience. And I think on the next one, Lisa, to your question is, how often should you aim to post for your business? So Lisa, you were already ahead of the questions there. Typically, I say it depends on what stage you are for your business. So for many of us here today who are starting out, some of you said you're new to social media and just getting prepared, I recommend 2 to 3 times per week. You know, we need to keep the wheels turning a little bit, enough just to keep the content going. And if it's 2 days a week to start, great. And maybe it's 3 days a week. Sometimes you've got more times. As you're ramping up your business, then we might shift into 4 to 5 times per week. I'm probably in this category, although not every week, to be honest, but I'm often in this category of 4 to 5 times a week of posting. And then during a major launch, like maybe if you are launching a free webinar and membership, for example, you might be posting 5 or more times a week. This is going to look different for everybody, but there's not a right number. It's kind of what you can stick to consistently. And I love that Brittany put in the chat too. You might have other channels that are supporting this. This is just social media. So you might be emailing more, you might be doing other things more, but the goal is for social media to find a number that you can stick with consistently. All right, Brittany, I'll throw it over to you for this one.
All right. So second reason, your campaigns are too short. Almost all of us are guilty of this. If you want to make more sales online, seems self-explanatory, but we kind of forget this. You have to talk about your services and offers a lot more than you think. The campaigns themselves need to be longer, as in like your window before you're ready to open your cart or sell something, or whenever that kind of date. If you're a service provider and you have a certain service you're promoting in January, you probably want to start talking about it like partway through December. So often we just kind of wait too late, and we need to post a lot more about it than what we think. That's reason number 2. And then the next reason we have, sorry, this keeps going on the second one here. I didn't see the slide advance. So yeah, so 30 days at least, right? So I know for this webinar, for example, our heavy push is a couple weeks before, but we've been talking about this since the beginning of December. So almost 2 months in order to get everyone that we wanted to be here today. And we know it takes at least 8, sometimes more, posts or messages about a product or service before someone is ready to buy. And that can be across channels, right? That might be a combination of email, social media, and other places. But at least 8 times, someone usually has to see something before they remember it and or take any action. So that's really important.
So this is what that can look like in action. Really quickly, I won't read through this in detail, but when we're talking about longer campaigns, I want you to think about, well in advance, you might be doing things like polling your audience, kind of testing the waters to see what they like. Then you might have something teasing an offer coming out, again, for those of you that had fixed timelines. And then what I call live promo time. And live promo means like the card is open, the discount is on, the time period is now. And that's usually the intense 1 to 2 weeks. And then after, don't forget about the after effect of your promo. Even after the doors are closed or the sale is over, you've sold out of your stock, you want to think about sharing some of the feedback and some of the wins with your audience to start prepping for your next one as well and start kind of planting that seed. And this leads us to save time by batching content in advance. And Brittany, this is you here, so you should talk about this slide.
This is me. Those are me with my kiddos. So yeah, save time by batching content in advance. This stat is from consults that I take with small business owners. When I ask them how long they typically spend creating, as in planning and creating content each week, they tell me 5 to 10 hours a week, which seems crazy. That's up to 40 hours a month. I'm sure there's a lot better things that you could do with 40 hours a month, or even frankly, 10 hours a month. If you have many children like me, there are many other places you have to be, activities and that kind of thing. And I would rather be doing that than planning my content. So batching is super helpful. Oh, Jen, you got that question in the chat as well about tweaking messages. Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to building your content pillars for social media. And Jen, I think you're like the pro with pillars. So I'm gonna let you run with this one.
Pillar Pro. Okay, here we go.
The pro.
Okay, so what are content pillars? If you've never heard this word before, it's really just a fancy way of saying, what's the foundation of your social media going to be about? We need you guys to stay on brand. So we're talking about a consistent message. And we need you to divide up the different types of content you need, from getting people from awareness, getting on your page, getting to know you, getting on your email list, to finally conversion or sales. And that's going to look a little bit different for everybody here today. So you can really think of your content pillars either as little pillars, or I like to think of them as buckets, right? I've got to be out there filling up my awareness bucket every day, so I get to meet more people like you right here live today on the call. I hopefully over time will build a connection with those people through my content, through meeting me through consults. Eventually, they're going to consider my offer against other offers. And then finally, I'm going to create some content that's like, oh, I need this thing and I need it right now. I'm going to create some urgency, and that's going to lead to sales. So that's what we need to be thinking about with our content all the time. Sometimes a piece of content will cut into more than one way, but every piece of content should pick one objective and not trying to do all the things at the same time here. Okay, so let's break down what the 3 content pillars are here. I think we're still letting some more people in. Great. Now we have a count right here, over 128 people on the call. So there's 128 different businesses here. So I've tried to label these as broadly to make them work, but they're going to be roughly the same no matter what type of business you have. The first one, I call it the inspiration bucket, or the quick wins. You can give whatever fancy name you like. What I really like is think of it as broad awareness. The goal of this type of content is just to get people who know who you are, to get new followers to your page, new subscribers to your email list, just to get people to check you out. So some examples of this, think of like if you're a product-based business, this is where those beautiful product shots come in, or a beautiful fun reel. Anything shocking, right? Those quick hits, like 3 shocking things you didn't know about Instagram hashtags or something spicy like that. Breaking news is often really great for this category because it gets new people on your page, or of course, other myths in your industry. Myth busting stuff is always great for kind of that awareness and kind of showing that you like to be myth busting in your industry. Now, the second one is, I call it story time or education, right? And depending on what your business is, it's going to slant a little bit differently either way. The goal is the same. The goal at this point for me is I want somebody who just got on my page for the first time and doesn't even know me to go, oh, okay, I've learned a little bit about Jennifer Kolbach. Like, she seems like a decent human being. So that's what I want people to do. I want people to start building trust with me, start liking me, and start kind of building some rapport. So this might be things like 4 things you didn't, let's just say didn't, good typo there, didn't know about, maybe, or 4 things you did know about, frankly, both work, about what you do. How you got started, sharing your story about maybe your journey as becoming a physiotherapist, a business coach, a realtor, the struggles of a business owner. Honestly, this piece of content, I think every one of us here on the call can relate to. And this type of content really humanizes you as a business owner when we talk about, the ups and the downs of a business owner, or content about meeting your team. For those of you who have larger teams, it's always great to kind of show the breadth of your team and the different skills that you're bringing forward. And then finally, what does that bring us to? Sales content. Yes, everybody loves sales content. So this is the type of content where you actually want people to take action. And that could be things like book a consult with you, sign up for a free webinar with you, go to your Etsy store and buy your product from you, whatever that might be. So that could be things like the actual packages or programs that you sell, the discounts or promotions that you're running, of course, testimonials, or how to work with an X, right? Some of us, it's not as straightforward as how you work with us. So being really clear on how people work with you on those things. Now, one caveat here, and this isn't true for every business, but it's true for lots of businesses. I often find for product-based businesses, we typically have too many sales posts in the feed. They want every single sale post to be a sales post in the feed. And then for service-based businesses, those of us who work, especially in a digital space that doesn't really have, tangible outputs, we often don't talk enough about what we do. And if this is you, you can drop like a yes in the chat for whichever one you are. There's different ways to get sales, but we don't want every single post to have the call to action to be buy my lipstick, book a consult now. We want to have a variety of content that we're putting out all the time. And that's why we have the 3 content pillars for today. Phew. Okay. I will hand it back to Brittany now because this is the fun part. We're actually going to build the content plan now.
Yes, this is where we get to walk you through the actual content planning grid, which is awesome. And I think it is going to transform the way that you plan your content. So let's get into it. Okay, so this method makes it fast and easy. Well, when you get used to it, fast and easy. For me, it's very fast and easy. I think it will be for you too. So you're going to get out a pen and a paper, or you can use the workbook. And the workbook, I dropped the link in the chat again. Jenna, you can drop it in there again if you like. There is a little table in there. When you click that document, because it's view only, you do have to click File, Make a Copy. I think there was a couple questions before we move on. Does every content need to be kind of call to action?
I'll type back to them.
You're gonna write those back? Okay, amazing. All right, this actually came from how I used to plan my email content. So I email my list every single week, unless we're in a promo period like right now, which it's multiple times a week. But it's kind of like breaking down themes. So one theme and then like subtopics, if you will. So we're gonna walk you through how this applies to social media. So let's bump over to the next slide. Okay, so this is what you're gonna do first. And we are gonna have a little mini work session where it's gonna be quiet and you're gonna have time to actually put these things in, but we're going to walk you through it. So at the top, these are going to be your content pillars. Your 3 of them. We're going to pick 3. Don't pick more than 3. It will get confusing. So for most people, it's probably going to be awareness, education, sales. More than likely. If you have different ones, that's okay, but that's where you're going to start. 3 pillars go across the top. And then on the side, Jenna, you want to go to the next slide whenever you're ready.
Firing. Oh, hold on. We've got a slide in between here though. Oh, Brittany, do you see the slides?
I see oh, you're doom scrolling. I was like, wait, I skipped ahead. Yes, I thought this was a funny graphic too. So instead of you doom scrolling, we're going to use your FAQ. So when we go down the side, you're going to see in a second, this is how you tap into what your audience really needs to know about you, your industry, what makes your products and services unique. And this is the piece that leads to more conversions when you start answering what your audience is actually looking for. So if you're you were in the beginning, if you answered number 3, I want more sales and leads from social media, it is more than likely that the content isn't quite hitting the mark with what people actually need to know in order to take action. All right, so let's go to our next one then, which should be on the side. Here we go. Okay, so you have your 3 content pillars across the top. Now down the left, this is where you're going to think about your FAQs. So this is 4 frequently asked questions about your business, product, service that either you get asked by customers or clients, or that they should ask that would lead them towards taking an action. So some examples, what is one of the biggest myths in your industry? What is the most important thing people need to know about you or your industry? How do you work with a mortgage broker, real estate agent, social media coach, and what kind of results do they get with working with you? Those are just some examples. Now, I think, do we have the ones all filled in?
Yeah, so I'm going to give you a few more. So don't worry about writing things down yet. We're going to start a timer. I see some of you guys like so keen already, but don't worry. We are going to literally start a timer so you guys can write these ideas down. We have 2 examples totally fleshed out first. We want to walk you guys through. So let's do that now. So I saw there was a couple mortgage brokers on the call here today. Hands up if that's you. So you guys get an easy win here because you guys can just copy these 4 straight down. So I picked a mortgage broker for one of them, and then I'm going to have goods on the other one. So let's say for a mortgage broker, the FAQs, I imagine they get asked. Now, I imagine if you live here in Canada, that the number one question they're getting asked in the last year is, should I choose a variable or fixed mortgage? I imagine that's a question a mortgage broker gets asked each and every single day. Probably lots of questions about how you hire a mortgage broker. Here in Canada, we don't pay mortgage brokers directly. They receive a commission from the bank. But if you're a first-time homeowner, like you might not understand how that works. Like you might think that there's a fee involved and it wouldn't be very clear. Probably lots of questions about like, well, why would I work with a mortgage broker? Can't I just go to the bank and get a home loan? And maybe how fast does it take to get approved? I'm sure our poor mortgage brokers are being asked every single day about like, how fast do I get my pre-approved mortgage every single day of their lives? So that's some examples of what a mortgage broker might be frequently getting asked each and every day. Now, for those of us who are making goods, those of us who have a store, a Shopify store, an Etsy store, I imagine that the number one question you get asked, especially if you work in the handmade sector, is why does it cost so much to make X? And of course, we know it's because it's handmade and not mass produced, but you probably get asked that question a lot. And that would be followed up next by shipping. Shipping is like the bane of anybody who works in products. I know that for a fact. So you probably want to have a lot of content around shipping, where you ship, where you don't ship, why shipping costs the way that it does cost, depending on your geographic area. We have countries all around the world here, so shipping probably looks different everybody. Why should I purchase handmade over mass produced? Obviously, some really good content there about supporting small business owners and supporting your local economy. And of course, most importantly, what is your product made with that makes it unique, or maybe made without? Certainly anything in the foods category or the skincare category, even the clothing category that's made with something sustainable or GMO or any of those fun buzzwords that you can put in that make your product really special and unique, would definitely want to be front of mind. So those are some examples now. Okay, so Brittany, I think should we give them, I'm going to keep going and then we'll do one time block here instead of doing 2 time blocks. So I want to give everybody a chunk of time. Okay, so what you're going to do in a second, so you're going to put your FAQs down the side. Okay, I'm going to walk you through one whole thing and then we'll give you a big time block. That way you get more of time instead of 2 separate things. So in 2 minutes, you're going to take 4 FAQ examples and put them down the side, but I'll give you a sneak peek. Okay, don't panic now. Everyone sees this slide and everyone's eyes are like, and this is in the slides. So what I have done with the mortgage broker staff is I put the content pillars across the top, awareness, education, sales. For mortgage broker, sales isn't quite direct, and that's okay. Not everybody on this call has sales is quite direct. And then down the side, I put those 4 FAQs, variable versus fixed, how to hire a broker, can I go to the bank myself, and how fast can I get approved? And then this is where the magic comes in. Now we're going to fill it in with different content ideas that relate back to the FAQ and the pillar. Okay, so just like a fun grid, in math, and we got like the fun grid thing going on. That's what we're going to do here. And I'm going to walk through a couple of examples now. If your mind is like, Jen, I don't know what you're saying, I'm going to walk through now. So let's take a look at this FAQ. What is the difference between a variable versus fixed mortgage? That's the FAQ. Now I'm going to answer it in 3 different ways based on the content pillar. So content pillar number 1, just inspiration, awareness. Maybe this mortgage broker decides to make a really funny, lighthearted reel, and all the reel really talks about is how good it would feel when you save your client $20,000 in mortgage payments because they switched from a variable to a fixed mortgage, or a fixed to a variable mortgage, depending on what the market is currently in Canada. That's it. It's funny, it's lighthearted, maybe it's a bit cheeky depending on the branding, but that's it. It's just something super light and fun. That's the whole point of that post. Now, the next post they put out, maybe this is a carousel. Carousel just means more than one slide, or it's a graphic, or it's a video. And now they get into the nitty gritties of variable versus fixed mortgages, and they really break down the pros and cons of each. So now they're showing up with a bit more education front and center, and they're being a bit more specific. Finally, we want that mortgage broker to get some more leads. They want some more clients. So finally, maybe this mortgage broker tells a story about the fact that they have weathered many ups and downs in the housing market. They have seen, trends come and go, and they are the right support for you if you're feeling nervous, kind of, with the housing market that we have right now, and that they'd love to work with you. So all of those posts relate back to variable versus fixed. I've just answered them in 3 different ways. I'll run through one more example now before we get to our work session, just so we're feeling really good. I will do one from the handmade good examples, and both of these are in your workbook, so you'll have these examples to refer back to. Now, maybe let's talk about shipping, handmade goods and shipping. So again, maybe for pillar number 1 for shipping for this handmade good provider, it's just a funny reel saying like yes to all the places that they ship to, and it's like yes, 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 and it's just all the places that they do ship to. That's it, something funny and something cheeky. Maybe for education, they have a carousel that maybe lists out why they ship to certain places or why they can't ship to certain places, or some of the logistics of shipping that just break down, from a small business owner, the fact that they can't ship maybe internationally because they just don't have the budget and scale to do that. And then finally, from a sales perspective, they remind people, but if you spend $75 at your shop this week or all the time, shipping is free. So make sure you load up now to get free shipping. All of those posts relate back to the shipping FAQ, but I've just answered them in 3 different ways. Hey, Brittany, how are we doing so far?
Good. I'm just answering a question in the chat that I think a lot of people are going to have. So maybe I will just
answer it out loud, I think. Yeah.
So this is, how, if someone has multiple things, like how does this apply to them if they have multiple services? There's a couple of different ways you can do it. If there's enough overlap, then you're going to weave it in, kind of mix it in. If you have 4 services, let's call it 4 services, you could have 1 FAQ per service, for example, and kind of mix those in the content ideas throughout the month. But there's one thing I always recommend, and I don't most people might know you can do this, but some might not, is on Instagram specifically, you can pin 3 posts to the top of your profile. So mine looks like a banner. Some people pin their top performing posts, but if you have multiple services, it's a really great idea to have. So in this example, she would have, I think it was menopause and fertility. So she would have a big towel for fertility, a big towel for menopause, and then maybe one that's work with me or results or something like that. So that immediately when someone goes to the profile, they can see all of the services and click in maybe their carousels, just an idea. But then your content kind of can mix in as well. So I hope I've kind of answered
Yeah,
that.
that's a good answer. And what we should say here too, so the goal of this is, as you can see, is this totals about 12 posts, which for some of us, if we think back to that 2 to 3 posts a week, this is about 1 month of content. So sometimes what we have to do, I mean, me and Brittany are in the same boat. So for January, all I've really been talking about on social media has been this webinar, and eventually it'll be membership. And so I actually haven't really talked a lot about my other services. But come February, I will transition back into some of my one-to-one offers again. So it's okay to have months where you might have a special or a promo that you're going to focus on more, or you're just like, well, this month is January and I really want to focus on New Year, New Me, my one-to-one program. And then in February, I'm going to focus on a group program. And then in March, I'm going to focus on something else. So it is nice if you have a focus for a little while. That's totally okay too. And I love Brittany's ideas of having the tile. I have that on mine as well. I also have the tiles across the top. Okay, I want to give everybody some time to get started on this. So we are going to put some time in the chat now. I'm going to say like 5 to 7 minutes. We'll see how much time, how we're doing there. And what we want you guys to do right now, and Jenna just dropped that link again. Honestly, if the link is confusing, I just recommend like paper, pen. Honestly, just make a little chart. Don't overcomplicate it. I love that Angela's like, yes, I've got mine ready. And you're going to write down 4 FAQs, your 3 pillars across the top, and then see how many you can fill in. The goal here, guys, don't overthink it. The first idea that pops into your head, that's the one. Don't worry about the format and what the caption is going to be. Just write the idea out as quickly as you can. Okay.
So if
Brittany,
it's helpful, one more thing I want to add on the pillars, because I find people sometimes they get tripped up on like what type of content actually goes under each one. Inspiration content, I always find that's an easy reel. It's an easy video. If you think of an idea for a reel, it could be a time lapse of what it does. And you don't have to, it's not like you have to storyboard everything, but if you've got your FAQ and you're like, what can I record that's inspiration? A reel usually fits that category when we're talking about Instagram. Education, usually more in depth. These are good for carousels. And then content pillar number 3, that's your wild card. You can choose whatever you want, but for me, that's usually a static image. It just creates a really good content mix for me. Reel, carousel, static image, they each kind of serve a purpose. So hopefully that's helpful. And in the chat, I don't know if you already said this, Jen, if anyone's stuck, there's lots of you, but we're going to do our best to be answering back and forth when we're working if you're stuck on ideas.
okay, me and Brittany are going to put ourselves on mute for this part so you don't hear our rapid fire texting. So I'm going to put at least 5 minutes on my timer and I'll check in. But this is your point to ask us. If you need content ideas, me and Brittany will rapid fire you as many content ideas as you need. So at least 5 minutes on the clock. I'm going to put myself on mute now. And this is your time to make it happen. Okay, I love that we're responding back physically as fast as I can type in the chat. We'll give everybody 2 to 3 more minutes. If I haven't gotten back to you yet, we will in the chat or at the very end. So keep the questions coming. Brittany, I know we've got a few more minutes left. Is there any you want to answer out loud in the chat? I mean, out loud from the chat?
From the chat, I'm just thinking through most of them, there is a lot of like, I have different kind of service areas. So I think people are starting to think around that. There was one though, that I think she might have been stuck, and it was a nonprofit. I'm trying to scroll up to find it. It was a nonprofit trail. Oh my gosh, now I'm stuck. Okay. How can we make this work for our Trail Society nonprofit? I'm not sure if she saw my response. It's kind of like, what do you need people to know? Think of the overall goal of the content as well. So with a nonprofit, awareness is usually a much larger piece. Of course, you're trying to seek, donations or membership, and that's a small piece, but sometimes inspiration is a little bit trickier, and it's more on the education. At least the nonprofits I've worked with, Content Pillar 1 is almost non-existent, and the 1 and 2 are kind of combined. So there's a lot of education and then a little bit of seeking donations. Jen, you've worked with some nonprofits too. Do you have some ideas?
Yeah, for nonprofits, I mean, nonprofits, especially if I come from government background, you can't be like, let's make a funny reel about government content. No, we're not allowed to do that. So yeah, you have to be a bit more, I would say it's a little bit lighter. It might be from a nonprofit, like if you had photos of like a team building day or something, the outcome of what you're working on, just some great like volunteer acknowledgement or some of the lighter stuff you're doing for pillar number 1. Think of pillar number 1, we're not educating and we're not asking for donations yet. So what else do we have? So just showing me, I know for the Monashee Trail Society, like showing me like, oh my God, it's first snow on the trail today. That's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is when you tell me like, help, we need volunteers for snow removal. Here's 3 ways snow removal impacts usage of the trail. That's pillar number 2. And then pillar number 3 is sign up now. We need volunteers for snow removal. So they all link back to snow on the trail, let's say, just here in BC, we just had snow, but 3 different ways to cut it. Sometimes you just need the volunteers. You're going to skip pillar number 1 and pillar number 2 because you're like, we need volunteers today. And that's fine too. But it's just thinking about, we just don't want every single post every single time to be sign up, buy now, volunteer now, or donate now. We want to make sure we're creating other types of content in that mix as well. Awesome. Okay, we're going to give everybody, keep going. What I would love to know for those of you who have some posts down, how many posts have you planned in the chat? Does anybody want to share? Did anybody get 2 posts planned, 5 posts planned, 8 post ideas down? Maybe to drop your ideas in. Okay, Lisa's already got 3 ideas down. I love it. Jane got 6. Okay, keep the numbers coming. Let's see who else. There are some other photographers here, Teresa. 6, 4 so far, 9, 15. Nita, you're pro though. Nita's a member. She knows what she's doing. She's got this down. Shelly's got the 4 FAQs, and that's a start too. Just nailing down those 4 FAQs is a huge start, right? To know what your plan's going to be. Melissa got 9. I love that. Okay, so that's a good amount of posts here so far. I love it.
Maybe while people are sort of wrapping up the ideas too, and a couple people have mentioned in the chat ChatGPT. So your sneaky pro tip with ChatGPT to get it like giving you good ideas, instead of just saying, give me 12 post ideas for social media, I'm a photographer. You can say, I'm a photographer located in X. My ideal client is, you know, the brides or whatever, right? What are 4 questions that brides often ask their wedding photographer, or that they should ask? So get it to actually generate your FAQs and then say, great, now I have 3 content pillars. They are this, this, and this. Could you give me an idea that relates to that FAQ that falls under each content pillar? You can have a conversation with ChatGPT like that. It will fill in your grid. It's kind of amazing. So once you get a hang of how the grid works, you can do that. So
we need a whole other workshop. We do have a workshop we have done on ChatGPT, but I think we could do another free workshop on it because it's so good. Okay, a couple FAQs that I already saw in the chat that I did want to get that. Oh, type in the chat what you just said. Okay, let me do this, and Brittany, you type in the chat because we'll stay on a little bit at the end, but I know a few people have to leave right at 11, and I definitely want to respect everybody's time. So first, everybody asked, like, okay, Jen, we've got these 12 posts. Do I add other posts to the plan, or like, is this kind of it? So yes, you can, of course, add other content into the plan. The idea of this 12 grid is to give you your base of content every single month so that if everything else goes haywire and you can't do anything else, you've got 12 pieces of content done and dusted. And they don't have to be, Mark, so your question is, they don't always have to be reels, carousel, static, like Brittany said, that often works best. But you can make them all reels, to be honest. You can make them all carousels, to be honest. So your format is more your preference for what you enjoy. I definitely recommend a mix because, you know, as we know, Instagram is optimizing towards video content, but you don't have to have that exact breakdown if that doesn't work for you, whatever works. And I love Angela said, I do reels all the time because they're easier. I love that for you, Angela. The next question we got asked, and I think some of you said, like, but if I'm posting about the same topic, like, aren't my followers going to get bored about it? And the truth is, no. I think Brittany said this slide at the beginning, because we know it takes at least 8 touch points, 8 messages about your workshop, webinar, acupuncture, medicine, healing, you know, thing that you're working on, is that before somebody's even registered it. So you are definitely not talking about it too much. I think as business owners, we often don't sing our own praises enough, and we definitely need to be doing more of that so people can find more of your amazing products and services online here. And I love that people, thank you, Brenda, for sharing that in the chat. That's so kind of you. So yeah, maybe Brittany, do you want to do this wrap up here too?
Sure. Okay, so at the beginning, although there's a few people that hopped on late, but at the beginning you shared a reason or multiple reasons that you were here today. But now you are armed with a content planning method that will allow you to overcome these content planning roadblocks. Hopefully that's you. Maybe you want to type another yes in the chat if you feel a little more like this is something you can do, and maybe you can make it fun. Also, fun fact, I dropped that ChatGPT prompt into the chat. So if you're looking for that, you can copy and paste that and steal it later. Maybe I'll put it in the recap email because I have a feeling people are going to ask for that.
Oh, what'd I do? Oh gosh, sorry. I was trying to screen
window, all good.
Sorry, I was trying to screenshot something, Brittany. Okay, continue on.
Awesome. Okay, let's keep going. We're going to do our contest winner soon, by the way, so stay tuned for that. Jenna in the chat, Jenna, let me know if you have the names in that spreadsheet, and I will get that all queued up.
Yeah, so everybody here now, hold on for 8 more minutes because we will be giving away a prize pack, and one of you is going to win. We do it live. Oh, Jenna said spreadsheet ready to go. I love that. Okay, so of course we do want to tell you guys about how you can keep this momentum going. Today you got a really small taste of what planning your content in an intentional way with support could feel like. And some of you said 8 posts, 9 posts, got your FAQs done. And so we want to share a way that you can keep doing with us, keep doing your content with us all the time. And that is inside the Plan That Social Club. And Brittany, I just realized a screenshot now. We updated our page last night, so we'll have to update this screenshot now too.
New sales page.
Yeah, but Brittany, maybe you can kind of share where the kind of the membership came from.
Yeah, well, we wanted to create a community for business owners where we could come together each month. It originally started, of course, to help plan social media content. It's a lot more than that. We are not just another membership taught by our word we don't love marketing guru who can't remember what it was like to DIY their own marketing. So we are trying methods. We are sharing with you what works, and we actually share what doesn't work as well. We do kind of behind the scenes of our launches until we kind of pick it apart and show our members what worked and what didn't work. And that's really what we're all about. We're not telling you you're going to make $1 bazillion by planning social media content. We're here to actually pull the curtain back and show you methods that work and that are going to help your business move forward, and accountability and all this fun stuff. Oh, thank you to the members putting nice comments in the chat as well. So I'm going to carry through a little bit about what's actually inside. And Jenna, if you are able to drop the join link, you guys will receive this in an email after as well, but there is a link to join Plan That Social Club. And there's a coupon code, which is Fast Action, which does get you 20% off. So there you go, Jenna dropped it. So here's what we do inside of the club. Every Monday morning, this is actually my favorite part, we do 30 focus minutes. This one is not recorded. You show up live and you can ask us questions, review your content, work on your posts for the week, and get support. Every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific, we do that. That's really about holding the space and getting the work done. The next thing we do is our monthly digital marketing workshop. So this topic changes, and it's actually voted on by our members. This year it's really exciting because we have a bunch of guest speakers lined up, which is pretty cool. But we've done things like Facebook ads training, LinkedIn. Of course, there's lots of social, email marketing, blogging, basically anything that relates to digital marketing. Those are what our monthly workshops are on. They are live on Zoom just like this. You can ask Q&A, but they are also recorded, and the members get access to the recordings as well. And then a call much like this. So once a month, we host what we call our signature content planning party. So we actually do now content hot seat, which is pretty fun. We pick on a couple members. Pick on sounds bad. It's not really pick on, but we decide who they are, or they put their hand up if they want that to be them. And we actually help them review their best posts. I don't like to say we review their worst posts, but we kind of do. We tell them what worked, what doesn't work, what to do more of, less of. And then brand new. So this is actually like a sneak peek for members that are already in. We're also giving you a content calendar drop now each month with fill in the blank captions, which is just helpful when you're feeling really stuck. There's going to be some fill in the blank captions for you. This is your time to get your content plan done just like this each month. And quarterly boot camps. These are, of course, well, everything's technically optional. You participate in what you want when you're part of the membership. The quarterly boot camps are quite popular. So we have an email marketing boot camp, a Facebook ads boot camp, which is one where we show you how to grow your email list, and a batch your summer content boot camp. Those are all 3 to 5 days, longer times over Zoom, and a really focused specific topic to help you get results quickly. So those, we had a workshop, Monday Work With Me party, signature content party, and yes, and then our private Facebook group. So this is where our members hang out, they interact, they network, get support, catch up on recordings. This is also where they can share their content, ask for feedback. If we're doing a boot camp, there's homework and that kind of fun stuff in there. But this is where everyone hangs out and interacts.
Okay, awesome. And we will, if people are asking the times for the questions and the calls, we do have that kind of coming up there as well. Oh, Brittany, you might as well do this one too, because you designed this.
Yeah, this is what I was just telling you guys about the content. I'm calling it your content helper. Name is up for debate. Jen doesn't even know what I named it. That's what I named it, Jen. This is our new fill in the blank caption. So it's one thing to have a plan, and that's awesome. But if you get stuck on the captions, we wanted to give you just something a little bit extra that's tangible each month, so you can copy and paste it out. So each one might not be super easy to see in the screenshot, but there's an actual one where like you fill it in, and then there's a sample of how I filled it in for my own business. So you can see kind of both. So that comes each month. You will receive that on the same day that we do our planning party.
Perfect. Now, somebody already asked, I know we talked a lot about Instagram on today's call, and often I kind of defer to like Instagram language, if you will, but the training is not all about Instagram. This is a live screenshot. I don't even think it's updated, like the most updated yet, of many of the different topics we've covered. So you can see we've got TikTok in here, selling in the DMs, faceless content for our government organizations who cannot have people on camera, YouTube, LinkedIn, email, lead magnets, blogging, SEO, WordPress sites, and sales content. So it is definitely not just Instagram, because I know that's not everybody's main platform, but certainly we will talk about Instagram quite a bit, but it is definitely a mix of content. And as Brittany mentioned, really the content is driven by our members and what they most need support with every single month. Now, what is the cost? I know the burning question you've all been asking. I won't even read the slide, but do know that if we were to price this out individually, and we do sometimes, then the total monthly value of the membership would be $497. However, our regular price before the coupon code is 97 Canadian dollars, not US, or the yearly price of $970 would get you two free months of membership. Now, everybody here today already took time out of their busy schedule to show up live, and we really appreciate that because we know how busy you are. And so as a thank you to everybody who is here today, we are running a fast action coupon code for the next 48 hours. So what does that look like? The fast action coupon code will save you 20% off whichever choice you decide to go with. If you go with a monthly membership, that works out to about $77 Canadian. For our American friends, that's $57 US dollars. And honestly, for Canadian people, we're pretty much used to seeing US pricing anyways on everything all the time. So that's a pretty normal number for us to see as well. Or you can lock it in for the yearly membership at, again, just over $776 Canadian, $570 US, and that is the coupon code. And Brittany has just dropped that in the chat again. The coupon code is available for the next 48 hours for those of you guys who are ready to take action and make a dent in the marketing. While the membership window is open for the next 7 days, you really want to, give a quick win to those who are ready to take action here today. The monthly membership, there is no contract. You can cancel any time. So if you guys just want to come and try it out, that would be awesome. What do I have next? Okay, there's the link. The coupon code's already in the thing there. Again, actually, our header doesn't look like this anymore. Fun fact, Brittany loves to update the sales page at like 10 p.m. the night before we go live. I'm like, cool, new sales page. Love it. Awesome. We're just rolling with it. Brand new. The entire sales page reskinned. So I do hope you guys like it. Our members can go on and be like, wow, you guys redid the entire sales page the day before a live launch. Exciting times for us. As you will see here, when you click through that button right now, you'll be asked to set up an account, and then you can choose here, as you see in the default, either the monthly or the yearly. Oh, and then I actually covered the coupon button is actually right there, there as well. So make sure you put the coupon code in and you will see that discount come straight off. And again, the coupon code is fast action. And Brittany, you want to kind of carry over the last little bit here, and then we'll pull the prize here in a second?
Yeah, do we already have our bonus slides come up?
No, we haven't even had the bonus slides yet. Okay, bonus slides.
Yeah, I want to share the bonus slides. So that there's three if you count yearly. So there are some bonuses already queued up and loaded into your members area as well. So we have a caption vault. So it's 150 caption templates that are already there in the members bonus area. There's prompts, fill in the blank, all sorts of fun stuff. This is something that I created. I use it in my own business and for clients. This is my ultimate online marketing dashboard in Notion. Any of my Notion users will love this. This is where I store and plan my marketing content. And then we have a yearly bonus as well, which I think is on our next slide.
Oh, yes. There we go. Let's talk about this one.
This is for yearly members. So monthly, you get the other bonuses. If you decide to join yearly, this is a one-to-one coaching call with myself and or Jen. So one of us will jump on 60 minutes. You could tell us what your challenge is with your marketing. We're going to actually walk you through, give you actionable steps, and we deliver a digital audit based on your needs. So it's not like one size fits all. This is custom, one-to-one an hour with us with your audit, and that's for yearly.
Awesome. Okay, Brittany, I think, okay, when are the calls? Last thing, and then Brittany, if you want to queue up the picker wheel, check on Podia now, that would be great. So really quickly, when are the calls? So the Monday calls at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We and Brittany are on the West Coast. The first Tuesday of the month, we have the digital workshop at 12 noon Pacific. And the third Thursday of the month, we have one at 10 a.m. and 10 noon Pacific. That don't come at 10 noon, just come at 10 a.m. Pacific time, because 10 noon is not a time. And yes, every single call is recorded. I saw people ask that, and everything is uploaded to the members area within 48 hours. I know we have a variety of time zones on the call here today, so live may not always be the best fit, but you will always get access to each and every call in the recording area. Basically, our goal is to make sure that you are not left behind. We know that so many of you guys are feeling busy and overwhelmed. We hear it all the time with our clients when we're working with them one-on-one to build websites or build strategies. And so we really want to support you guys every single step of the way with your digital marketing. All right, Brittany, do you want to take over the screen sharing and you can share the picker wheel now? I know we're at 11:02, so we got to get that prize winner for everybody who's stuck around.
Hold on. Okay, share screen. Kicking you off, taking over.
Kick me off, you take over. Okay.
Okay, can we see the wheel with our 100+ names on it? Yes.
See the wheel. Oh my gosh, yes.
We do this with our members each month, but the stakes are lower. There's not as many on the call. Let's see. Who's gonna get the 1 year? Teresa. Wait, is Teresa already a member?
Oh, is Teresa already a member? Teresa, are you on and are you already a member? I will look at it. I'll look her up right now.
I feel like, hold on.
Oh, she's not. Okay, yay, she's not a member.
Okay, well then, Teresa, you win a year.
Perfect.
Teresa, email us. It's hello@planthatsocial.club and we'll get you all hooked up there.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, good. Now that you guys all waited and you didn't win, unfortunately, now you can go on. Oh, Brittany, go ahead.
You're losing your voice. Do you want to share the slides again? I can queue up the Q&A slide. We can do live Q&A for whoever needs some extra support. Jen's gonna queue it up. She's lost her voice. This happens.
I'm back. Happens like
She's
once.
back. Okay. We did our winner. So I mean, that's it for the training today, you guys. Hopefully that was really awesome for you to see another way to plan your content that's a lot quicker. And we have, okay, we're just gonna leave this. These are real members with testimonials. So we're gonna leave this slide up while we do Q&A in the chat. If anyone has anything that they would like some help with brainstorming. We just have lots of thank you. We're so glad you guys could come. These are fun, but also super nerve-wracking to put on these big webinars.
Yeah, it's totally nerve-wracking. If your question didn't get asked in the chat while we were on our content planning session, drop it again if we did miss it, because of course there was a lot of questions to go through. So if you haven't asked a question, or honestly, I think we have a smaller group now. If you guys do want to unmute for a second, we can totally do that. Oh, ChatGPT, Brittany, can you drop the actual URL to ChatGPT, someone says?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Would be great. And so Brenda, your question, no, you can make reels for all the content pillars, and I absolutely do. So you can, the format again is up to you. Oftentimes reels lend themselves to content pillar number 1 well, but I actually do a lot of long form video, which I would call content pillar number 2 for me, where I sit on camera and I talk for like 30 seconds to a minute, which is definitely more educational as well. So you can use reels however you best find a fit for that. And Brittany just dropped that link. So it's chat.openai.com is the link to ChatGPT. I know it's actually not named ChatGPT then as well, which is kind of interesting. That's actually not named that. Other questions? You guys are sometimes we have so many questions to get through at the end. So don't feel shy. You know, this is the time. Okay, Melissa, I have your question here. Okay, good. New and aspiring business owners planning your past. Like, I love this. Okay. Would love your content ideas. Okay. And Corinne. So let's do yours first. So Melissa, like what people think they need when they start out versus what they actually need when they start out. That would be a good FAQ, right? Like what kind of plans do they need versus what do they not need? What kind of funding do they need versus what do they not need? So like that would be really good. FAQs around the mindset piece for sure, like why mindset is so important, let's say as a business owner, and then breaking that down in different ways, like what mindset can empower you to do. And then ultimately what your offer is, like, you know, what your offer is kind of at the end there. I really like that as well. But I think what you need versus what you think you need, because you create that foundational piece for them. And maybe some things about waiting to get started, like there's never a right time to start your business. Obviously there's some steps you should take to be prepared, but there's obviously never a perfect time. So I think that would be a really good one there as well. Okay, Corinne, looking for FAQ for energy healing, emotion code and body code. Okay, so Corinne, question number 1, what is emotion code? That is a good one, right? 2, energy healing versus, and I might try other modalities, right? And not that one is better than the other, but they're different than the other, like energy healing versus acupuncture versus therapy versus other kinds of support ways. So different in FAQ about like how energy healing is like this or is not like this. That would be a good one. Can you do it online? I think I worked with somebody before who offered Zoom sessions. Like, so can you do energy healing on Zoom? Does it have to be in person? So some context around that as well about how it does or doesn't work in different locations would be really good too. Cool. Brittany, do you want to take one next?
Yeah, I can. Also, because I was logged in at the same time. If Gay is still here, she joined for a year. So welcome, Gay. It's always super fun to see that live. Okay, let's see. Where's our Creating plan. I'm going to take this last one just because it popped up first. Not sure if this is off topic. If you create a plan for a client, do you then share the plan for the client to create the visual? Oh, okay. So is this someone who, so a social media manager, so you're writing content for clients, perhaps?
Sounds like, yeah.
You could if you wanted to. So when I write client content, I have a Google Doc for them, and it has 4 columns. It has a date column, an image column, which is the image we've created, like the thumbnail of it, the caption, and then a section for notes. And I just share edit access to that document, and they just leave me feedback inside of the Google Doc. I don't often share, in fact, I can't remember the last time I shared the actual, here's the plan. But I could. I've done it in our VIP, like when I do VIP days where I have a Notion calendar up, and then I actually create the ideas and drag them into the calendar and then write the content. But usually I just supply the actual content doc because it cuts down on revision time back and forth. Hopefully that was helpful for that one. But, did we catch, my chat keeps kind of moving around. You
No,
were
mine
doing that
too.
one, acupuncture?
I did acupuncture for you, Ian. Yeah, so for Ian, it's like acupuncture, think awareness, like what is acupuncture, right? Like think about someone who's never had it before. What is acupuncture? What is it good for? What is it not good for? And then all the myths around acupuncture, like does it hurt, is definitely going to be a top FAQ question. And then the education piece, like, comparing acupuncture kind of like to different modalities again. Things like, is acupuncture safe during pregnancy? Is it safe during postpartum? Is it safe for, other types of situations? Any of that kind of safety messaging, of course, is really important. And then for sales, I mean, a little bit less salesy kind of in that, but I would say, that might be where you're using stories to be like, hey, I have a new booking open up, or just a pinned post about how to book with you and actually walk people through booking on your site or booking through the Jane app. And of course, if you're ever in a place where you have a wait list, reminding people to get on the wait list as soon as they can.
Karen asked if it's a content creation / scheduling tool you recommend for executing your content plan. Okay, depends on where you're posting and what you want to do like visually with your plan. There's a few different tools. I personally use a tool called Sendable, but that's because I'm managing many social media clients and I need one ginormous agency dashboard to post to multiple places. So from there, I post to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, X. Nobody's really doing anything over there, but we can post there too. Google Business, and it can push some stuff through to TikTok. However, you can't do any of the scheduling platforms. They're not going to allow you to push reels with trending audio. It doesn't work, only if it's original audio. So if you're primarily just Facebook and Instagram, then you're going to want to use Meta or Facebook Business Suite to schedule your content. If you're some of those other platforms, then you would look for a tool like Sendable, Later, Buffer, Hootsuite. There's also one called Plan. I think the website's Plan That with like 2 N's,
Yep.
which is kind of strange. Plan That. That one's kind of neat because it's visual. You can drag your images around and see what your grid would look like on Instagram. So if you're Instagram heavy, that's a good one. But my choice has always been Sendable. Jen, are you using a scheduler or are you manual?
So I really don't schedule any content. I use just Facebook Meta Business Suite for if I have static posts or carousels. LinkedIn has their own scheduling just natively. So whenever I'm posting on LinkedIn, again, just native through LinkedIn. And then again, like Brittany said, because Reels, I use all the trending audio. I have them saved in drafts ready to go so that I am prepared. And then the morning of, I can just hit post on that. So again, it really depends on the platforms, Karen, where you want to go. I love LinkedIn, just their native schedule, because it's free and it's easy. So that one, if you're on there a lot, that's the one I would recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, I think I got through most of them in the chat. Okay, I answered you. Okay, answered you. Yeah, sharing it there. Okay, I think we got through everybody in the chat. So, I would say if anybody here has any questions about joining, ask the questions about the membership now. We will have a few follow-up emails that will, of course, get into some of the FAQs. But if you have a question that you're thinking about, ask away. This is kind of the time to get those questions answered. We've already got a few monthly members on and a couple of yearly members. And so we definitely want to make sure that you're feeling confident about if this is the right program for you to move your social media forward.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for coming.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.